So, Matthew, what is today's icebreaker?
Today's icebreaker is, if you could have only 3 apps on your phone, what would the 3 apps be?
That's a. Oh my gosh.
I think no.
Okay.
I
I
know.
think text messages.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
I don't really need the call app because I don't
Yeah.
really call.
Yeah, no,
People.
100%.
The Bible app. Actually, I no, because I read the Bible. I read my paper Bible.
Yeah, me too. Dude.
So I don't necessarily need the Bible app. So text messages. Let's see what else. Honestly, probably the fantasy football app.
Dude.
Dude, I don't.
Mine would have to be probably the text messages app. I'm not gonna lie, TikTok.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm on that a lot.
At least we're being honest here on the 412
Yeah.
Leadership Podcast.
Yeah, and probably Instagram.
Dang.
Dang, you're taking 2 social
Dude,
medias?
alright, I was thinking, alright, hear me out. Messages,
Okay.
Instagram, and notes.
Notes?
I'm keeping notes.
I would take messages, notes, and probably ESPN.
I feel like you just always need a notepad somewhere. Like, you always need
Yeah,
to...
you
I
always
don't
need
think
something
I've
have
used a note
notes.
app in like 20 years.
Notes?
We
Yes.
use the notes every week for the podcast.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
like besides that, I don't use it.
I use
always
it a lot.
notes.
All right.
Like when I'm taking notes in church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It actually took us like a long time to get this done.
Guys,
Get
Yeah.
recorded.
we got a story to tell before we move on.
Yeah.
We've been
my bad.
sitting here, our, what do you call it again? Our pack, what do you call it? Zoom
Our
pack? Our
Zoom
Zoom
pack.
pack that we hook up our mics to was not working, and we couldn't figure out why for the last 30 minutes until we
Yeah.
realized that Matthew accidentally locked the SD card.
Our
And so
tech
it
guy
wasn't
was slacking.
processing any information. And
Yeah.
it took us 30 minutes to figure that out.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Yeah.
Y'all are lucky. This episode was about to not come out.
Yeah, it almost didn't come out. What's up, everybody?
What's up, guys?
Welcome back to episode 5 of the 412 Leadership Podcast. We're so
Yes.
glad that you guys are joining us for another episode. If you're new here, my name is Garrett,
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Gabe.
and we are your guys here at 412 Leadership, where we just love to talk about leadership.
Yes.
We like to have fun, and we're fake trademarking #real talk because that's what we've been doing a lot. So yeah, we got a great episode for you guys today. If you missed last episode, go listen to it. How to lead in our culture today,
Mm-hmm.
and then also episode 3, what challenges do young leaders face? Also was a great episode. But today, we are talking about influence in leadership, and
Yes.
that's what we're going to be diving into today. Guys, this is not episode 5. This is episode 6.
Wrong one.
Wrong one. Welcome back to episode 6
Welcome to episode 6, guys.
of the
Episode
podcast. So, like I said, we are talking about influence and leadership today, and we've got some good stuff. So, all of our note takers, be ready to take some notes. We're going through 4 points, and we're going to talk about influence a lot. So, first point that we have here is, why is influence important?
Important. I mean, if you influence somebody, I mean, you can influence them in a bad or good way.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you influence in a bad way, then you're going to change their
Yeah.
life, you know?
There's really 2 sides of influence in
Mhm.
leadership. The first side of it is who you're influencing, like the type of influence that you are being, like how you are influencing other people. That's the first side of leadership, and like influence in leadership. The second side is what you're letting influence you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
you've got 2 different sides, and that's why it's important, is
Mhm.
because not only do you have to worry about how you're influencing, like if you're being a good influence, if you're being that right influence, you have to worry about the things influencing you. Are those things healthy? Are they okay? Are they good things?
Mhm.
and so you have to, worry about that. So there's two different sides
Yeah.
there.
And like both of those sides make you the person you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
no doubt. And leadership is really important. Just talking about those two different sides. We're gonna dive into that here pretty soon. But influence is like you've got to have good influence all the way around, or you're not going to be healthy as a leader,
Mhm.
and that's just the first type of.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into a point too, I guess.
Yeah, go
There are
ahead.
two types of, there are two types of influence, good and bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you got two types, good and bad. Which one should we talk about first?
I think bad. Then we can
Bad.
good news.
So, kind of just, Gabe, you can talk about like, what do you think? Like to you, what does like bad influence mean?
it's just like anything that doesn't steer you the right way, anything that's not going to help you or like benefit you or get you closer to God or anything, like
Yeah.
just the things that are leading you away from what your calling is and what you're like supposed to be doing.
Yeah, for sure.
100% agree.
I think bad influence is like we talk about a lot, temptations,
Mhm.
being around the wrong people, not surrounding yourself with the right people. Our culture today can be a bad influence at a lot of times,
Yeah.
and so I think that's a big thing for bad influence.
I
You
mean,
got anything?
bad influences. I mean, when you give bad influence to somebody, then they're probably going to give bad influence to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's same
like
thing
a
with
chain
good
reaction.
yeah, same thing with good influence, I think. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, and that'll go into our next point. But what about good influence? What are some examples of good
I think
influence?
good influence is something that like you feel good about doing,
Yeah.
Like you don't feel bad about doing it. And somebody who influences you, like like all these bad influences, like on social media, you're like looking at these
Yeah,
celebrities or whatever,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, I wish I was like that. That's a bad influence.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about like how many takes that took before they got that one photo
Mhm.
or something like that. But I mean, good influence can be like they're showing you the real side of them.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
I think
It can go deeper than people actually think of good influence.
for sure. I think like examples of good influences, like your character, the things that you say, the things that you're around. Kind of like we said, just like the difference between good and bad influence is the effect it has on you,
Yeah.
and the effect it has on other people. And I think that's the biggest thing to understand when we talk about influence is there's a fine line between good and bad, and we have to understand that we always want to be on the good side in
Yeah.
everything we do. Chad Veach said it this way: whatever influence you're leaning into, that will go back and lean into you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So everything that you're going into, that's what's getting out of you.
Yeah.
So like whatever you invest in, that's what you're going to be putting out there, and you want to make sure that's always good things and influences.
Mhm.
Making sure that you're going into the right things. So
Yeah.
what's point number 3, Gabe?
Got you. What are the impacts of good and bad influence?
I think this is something we'll probably spend a little bit on because there's a
Yeah.
lot of different impacts.
Well, we kind of said it earlier, like it rubs off on other people. So it's like a chain reaction, like we just said.
Yeah.
So it just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you don't want to be the person responsible for being
A
the
bad
head of
influence.
that chain reaction. Like you
Yeah.
don't want to be the person responsible, and you want to make sure that everything that you're doing is the right thing. And we talk about it a lot, having people around you that make sure that you're influenced well, and also that you're influencing well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really like watching what you say and watching who you're around and like
Yeah.
what's near to you, what's like happening around
Yeah.
you.
And it's really hard because a lot of times we don't even realize that what's around us is being a bad influence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it is. Like
Yeah.
and you can't avoid it. It's just like you're never going to be able to avoid bad influence. You're just going to have to make sure that you don't fall into it.
Yeah, stand strong.
Yeah, and bad influence is fun. Like it can be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
It's big. I think that's probably the biggest impact is like it can ruin you. Bad influence can ruin you because you'll be on your highest highs, like I'm doing great, everything's going well, I'm not doing bad things, and then your bad influence hits and it's like,
boom,
what happened?
yeah,
You come crashing down.
Yeah.
And like we said, chain reaction, you just like don't want to be involved in that at all, because it's not only affecting you, like bad influence isn't just going to affect you, it's going to affect everybody that you're trying to lead.
yeah,
And if you teach them the wrong things because you're influenced badly, then they're going to be teaching other people, like Matthew said, they're going to be teaching other people those things, and then it's just going to be a whole chain reaction.
and then it comes back to you. Like,
Yeah.
if everybody sees that and they know that you're leading these people, then it's all going to come back to you, the
Yeah.
main person.
One badly influenced person turns into about 50, and 50 turns into 100, 100 turns into 200. Spreads like wildfire.
Yes.
And you
So-
just do not want to be the head of that.
Yeah, that's the impacts of bad influence.
Yeah.
Talking about good influence now, I think there's a lot of good that comes from good influence.
Yeah.
I think, one, it grows you as a person. It's going to make you better, and also grows people around you, and it's going to be a good chain reaction.
Yeah.
And,
And people respect the good leadership that you give.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, no doubt. And like, also when you are impacted by good influence, it like makes you want to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes you want to do good things.
Makes you
And-
want to follow. Like, makes you want
yeah,
to.
it's like, especially when you're someone, like when you're receiving good influence from other people, it's like, I want to do what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's part of that chain reaction, and it keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you on the right path. It's like, it's not gonna tear you down. It'll build
Yeah.
you up.
Mm-hmm. And it'll help take others with you. Like,
Yeah.
build other people up with you.
Yeah, good influence makes you feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
for sure.
yeah, so if you always want to feel, people like to feel good about themselves. So if you're getting good influence, then people are going to like it.
Yeah. Also, talking about bad impacts of like bad influence, like bad influence sometimes is going to have you feeling like you're at the top of the world. Like, it's going to bad influence can create a massive ego,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and it can create something that's like really unhealthy, and like it also is like gives you this feeling of like, I can do it by myself,
Mhm.
like I don't need anybody around me. And I think, one, you can't do it by yourself, and two, like, it's not about you,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't like, it also, like, bad influence creates a lot of insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like Chad Beach said it this way, like, you can't shepherd someone or lead someone if you're insecure of their gift or platform.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you're being insecure, you're not going to be able to lead, because you can't lead out of insecurity, because then it's like, I'm only leading because of, like, I'm only leading the things I feel secure enough to talk about.
Yeah. Because you don't want people to see your weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
if you show weakness, then people aren't going to want to lead you. Like we said last week.
Yeah.
Or was it last week or the week before we said that? I can't remember. We said that
Yeah.
if you show weakness, then people aren't going to want to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to, and you've got to show that, like, you've got to show growth as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to be able to climb the ladder, like we talked
Yeah.
about. You've got to be able to
You never want to
grow.
stop.
Yeah. And also, growth isn't always like, bad influence can make growth seem great, but like growth isn't always good growth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if just because something's like growing rapidly doesn't mean it's healthy.
Yeah. Like,
Chad Beach said that. I got that from him as well. But like, you can have something grow rapidly, and it's like, it's not healthy at all, though. It's really toxic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what bad influence can create. It can create this picture of like, hey, this is doing so well, I'm doing well, but really on the inside, and you're not aware of it because you're not aware of bad influence.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And,
so,
like,
yeah.
that bad influence will, like, you may gain more friends. You may, like, your ego will grow because you're gaining more friends. But, like, do you really want to be with those people
Yeah.
that are, like, influencing you that way? And
Yeah.
you're doing the same to them. Like, it's
Yeah.
just,
And you don't want to
yeah.
and you don't want to leave them because
Mhm.
they've been there. But then when you actually think about it, they've been there for you in a bad way and not in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, like, it's not about quantity that you're producing.
It's the quality.
It's the quality. Absolutely.
Like Gordon Ramsay says, quality
and that's
over
good
quantity.
influence. Good influence will create that standard and idea. Good influence will create good standards. We talk about good standards all the time. That's what it'll create. And so I think that's really the impacts of that is like good influence is going to help you. Bad influence will tear you down.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of that, like,
yeah, what you got?
nothing about this, but like,
Oh.
what do you think about like those expensive restaurants and you're paying like hundreds of dollars and you get this little portion and you're like, what is this?
I feel like that's just so like
Yeah.
egotistical.
Yeah. It's the same way. Yeah, it's actually a really good illustration.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be like, hey, look what we're doing. Like we're doing all this. Like our numbers are way up. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like, but your content is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, the content you're producing needs to come, like your content needs to be better than your crowd.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say it that way. Your content needs to be better than your crowd. You've got to be able to have that impact on people. So what's the fourth point we got, Matthew?
The fourth point is how do I maintain a good influence?
I think really it's just
Sorry, I just had like a complete brain fart. I
had
forgot how to
to.
read for a second.
honestly,
No, it's typo. Do you see it?
Yeah, and the notes it says
how to maintain good.
how to. Yeah, no, it had like a C in it earlier. But I think it starts with developing yourself, letting God grow you, letting other people, taking criticism. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like if you're not growing, then you're not gonna.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna feel stuck,
That's the first.
and then you're not gonna like leading, because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just like keep pushing, like
Yeah.
keep going with it, keep staying with your group, keep building on each other, keep building, taking steps.
Stay humble.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chad Beach said this as well. The lower that you ground yourself, the higher God will take you.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
if you humble yourself to those bare hands, bare feet, working hard, blue collar mentality, God's gonna take you as far as you want to go.
I mean, like look at Jesus. He was washing feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
that's perfect.
yeah, like
Like the greatest leader in mankind
Was
humbled himself by washing.
washed someone else's feet, and like,
multiple people.
but like in our day and age, we can't even like help someone with the simplest things.
Yeah.
without like complaining. About
Without
it.
being like, oh, I'm too good to be doing this. Like,
Like, I
this
don't.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the greatest person to ever walk this earth washed someone else's feet willingly,
Yeah.
and it was his idea.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wanted to. Like he didn't
Like,
complain about it or anything. He wanted.
It was his
to.
idea, and like, it just blows my mind. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. Dang, I never thought about it like that.
And also, Chad Veach again, talking about influence, how to maintain good influence. Influence, two things. First, influence comes with a responsibility. You've got to be responsible. Second, influence comes by service. Like we just talked about with Jesus. You have to be a servant.
Yeah.
To influence.
If you can't have a heart like Jesus, and you can't have a house like Jesus.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, if you can't lead and have that same heart as Jesus and heart for people and growing his kingdom, you can't expect the same numbers that Jesus had when he was influencing others. Like, you've got to have the humble heart.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing to maintaining good influence. Y'all got another point?
I think, like, to keep maintaining good influence, I think you need to be influenced in yourself.
Yeah. And you have to be able to take influence.
Yes. So like, if you think about it, like, all these amazing, like, pastors and stuff, they didn't just
Spawn.
spawn.
They all had
Like,
leaders.
Yeah, and they all went through the same adversity that we're going through, the same challenges that we're going through.
And that's why we talk about like relationships all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have people that you have to be able to build relationships and have good influential relationships, because that's what all these pastors and speakers that people watch and like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
they are literally the same person as you.
Just went through.
They just understood what they had to do.
And they stood strong.
And they,
in
exactly.
adversity.
And they still went through the same challenges we did. Like, if anything, they could have gone through worse challenges.
Yeah, they just had people around them who were good influences, and they could maintain that good influence. And that's what we're trying to tell you guys.
And then that goes back to what we said earlier. Like, when somebody gives you a good influence, you're going to rub off to other people with your influence.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about relationships. You've got to have accountability, people around you, because that's what's going to give you good influence. I think another thing is, like, to maintain, like, to give a good influence is, like, you have to become the best version of yourself, the highest standard of yourself. Like, you've got to keep the standard high. If you have high standards, and you've got to work for those high standards. Chad Beach again. Going to him again.
Always are good.
You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So if you have all these high goals, but like the way you're trying to get there is like awful, then you're gonna be awful. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
the
mean,
way we say it at our church is
no sugarcoating it. If your motives and your routines suck, you're gonna suck.
Yeah. Our saying at our church is do everything with excellence.
Yeah.
So, like, we want to do everything with excellence. So if we do, let's say we have this big service and we're going all out, but it's not good, but there's a lot, then there's no point. We rather go simple and have this excellent service, but being more simple, but at least it's still amazing.
Yeah, I think that can tie in with, like, having a servant heart too.
Yeah.
Like, do everything with excellence. Like, don't settle for less. Like,
For sure.
do everything and even more.
Yeah.
No doubt. And you have to, like, we talk about growing. You have to, like, you've got to learn where your weak spots are. You've got to be able to understand, like, I'm not good at this. We talked about this before. Like, grow yourself, and, like, serve. You have to get out and serve. Like, you can't speak about, like, hey, be in the hands and feet. You got to go out there and do it. Like, you got to be getting the job done and not just, like we talked about last week. You got to walk what you talk.
Yeah.
Walk it like I talk it.
Walk it like a tuck it. Walk it like a tuck it.
I mean, let's see what else I got on here from Chad Beach.
Sponsor us.
No. Guys, we're actually going to really try to get Chad Beach on here one
we're
day.
DMing him.
We're going to do it.
If we get him, that'll be crazy.
So, I'm going to take a little pause real quick before we continue with this, just because it's on my mind. Big announcement.
Big announcement.
This will already be on social media before you guys listen to this.
Yeah.
So, the pod is going live, guys.
Yeah. Alive.
In 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks?
After this last motion night we had.
From 2 weeks from Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
2 weeks from Wednesday, the pod will be live at Motion Night at City Hope Church, our home church. We are going to be going live.
Yes.
And we want you guys to be there.
Yes.
We are hyped.
It'll be fun.
We're really excited.
We'll have an announcement video. So.
We're like I said, you guys are going to see something on Instagram by the time this is posted. We're really excited. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing a Q&A.
Crowd's getting involved.
We're going to be doing, so if you guys like our Icebreaker and Icebreaker questions, we're giving you guys prizes for answering those.
Yes.
So you better be there.
Yeah.
And, you're going to be involved. You're going to be asking the questions, and we're going to be answering them. It's going to be a live Q&A, recorded. We're going to have a fun time, a great night of worship, just fun. So, we're going to be going live. That's
a
big announcement. And also, if you are at another church and you're listening to this and you want to bring us in live, reach out, because we are more than happy to do it. We want to just be the hands and feet. We want to be serving others and doing what we can to populate the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
And so reach out to us. But that's our big announcement is the pod is going live.
Yeah.
All right.
Live at 5. So
live at 7.
Live at 7. Yeah. We'll have more details on Instagram about that. But so huge announcement.
All right.
Yeah.
We're ready for the time.
Is it should I do the theme music? Icebreaker time.
Icebreaker. All right. What's a weird food combo you like?
Oh, I already know mine. It already popped in my head.
Weird food combo.
Dude,
Or-
Cheez-Its with ranch.
What?
I'm telling you, you have
That's
to try it.
crazy.
Me and my dad, we tried it one time, just out of curiosity, and it was actually so good.
Let's do a weird food combo / weird food things you like to do, like to eat.
What's a weird?
I think
thing
I know
to
yours,
eat?
Garrett.
What's mine?
The cheese in the
Oh,
microwave.
Oh,
for
fried
sure.
cheese.
Yes, that thing is awful.
It tastes like a Cheez-It.
No, it does not.
Okay.
You
my
gotta explain.
weird. Okay, so that'd be my weird food I like to eat. What
You
about
gotta
you?
explain what it is, though.
Okay,
Like, it's just
so
not-
guys, this is what you do. You get like a slice of American cheese.
No, like the fake one though, like the one that's, like the. How would you explain
Like
it?
the one you put on cheeseburgers,
Yeah, you get one of those slices of cheese. You put it in the microwave for a minute. It fries it.
No, it smells so bad.
yeah, imagine toasted bread. That's the consistency it is. It's crunchy.
It tastes like a Cheez-It.
It's so odd.
It literally it crunches and
Yeah.
it's cheese. It's just so.
I get hate for it, but
Yes,
that's probably
it's-
my weird item.
It's pretty bad.
It's
What's yours?
a common food item in this house. Everyone, their whole family
Yeah.
loves it.
My parents don't, but my brothers and me do.
I don't know what my
I don't
weird-
have a weird combo.
Ooh, I do have a weird one.
Okay.
I don't know if this is my family, but we like to get tortillas
Okay.
and then we put butter on them and then honey on it. I don't know if that's weird, but it's pretty good.
I think I have another, honestly.
What?
In elementary school, I used to put Doritos in barbecue sauce.
Boy, what is your
Okay,
problem?
this might be a weird combo, but I love it. Ham and cheese or turkey and cheese sandwich with Doritos on
Dude,
it.
bro, I put Doritos on every sandwich I
So
eat.
good.
But
But
I don't think that's
turkey and
weird.
Cheese, it has to be the nacho cheese Doritos. It has
Yeah,
to be it
for
has
sure.
to be.
I know
It's
what mine
so
is.
it
good.
I
just
figure
makes
mine out.
every sandwich so much better.
So when I was a kid in elementary school, my dad would make me this snack, and it's cut up apples in cubes, and he would put salt all on them, and then lemon on all of it.
What?
Yes, bro. Oh my god, I haven't had it in years, but
That
I
is so
remember.
weird.
I remember it, and it's pretty good.
You guys let us know what your weird combos
What
are.
your
or
weird combo
food.
is.
Is that the Q&A this week?
That's the Q&A. The poll. Wait, what was our icebreaker? Was weird? Was our the apps?
The apps,
Yeah.
yeah. How about
So
let's make the Q&A. What app do you use the most?
What app do you use the most? That'll be the
TikTok,
Q&A.
Instagram. What are the most other
No,
common
it's going to
ones?
be, I bet
TikTok,
it's TikTok.
Instagram, Snapchat.
Snapchat.
I think that's the only three.
And we'll do Facebook for the old people. I'm just
I
kidding.
just-
Shout out to our older people.
Our
listening.
older
We
people.
love you guys.
Lame.
We'll do some special
No, I'm
shout
just
outs
kidding.
here in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we could debut this right now. What if we started a segment? Where are we at on time?
We're at around 28, 30 minutes.
Okay. We got 3 minutes. Okay. What if we started a segment where just for a minute or two, we just real talked it
Real talked it. What do you mean?
Real talk.
over anything? We just come up, if y'all have anything y'all want to talk about.
So just life?
Oh, so it's unrelated, but real talk? It's going to be,
It's like a real talk.
yeah.
What do we have? Anything that we need to talk about?
Let me sit up.
I went to a Sweet 16 yesterday. Are you talking about that?
No,
what do you
we're
know?
talking about real
Boy.
talk.
Oh.
Real talk about
Like-
leadership.
I
Like-
thought you meant
Yeah, real
just a
talk,
random
real talk.
topic. Oh.
Do we have anything? Dude, I want to so I think I just feel like we can't emphasize enough how bad our culture is sometimes of
Uh-huh.
doing we're really bad leaders at times.
Yeah,
Our culture.
there's just so much going on.
And that's why we're here for you guys, because we
Yeah.
want to build you guys up. But
Yeah.
next week, we'll debut a segment called Real Talk, where we talk
Mhm.
for a couple minutes, and we come up with a topic for Real Talk.
I have a topic.
Right now?
Right now.
All right, let's see.
I want everybody to go home, or whatever you're doing if you're home, and tonight while you're laying in bed, close your eyes and think about all the times you've got really upset with somebody or really mad at somebody, and think of how many of those times was over a little thing.
That happens so often. Like,
Real talk right now.
yeah,
Here we go.
that is just such a common
And
occurrence. In
let me
this
tell you
world.
why this is so important is because sometimes those arguments end up in ending friendships,
Mm-hmm.
breaking things off with people,
Yeah.
and life is short, man.
And you just can't.
You don't know how long you've got with that person.
Exactly.
You don't know how much longer you've got. Like, real talk right now, little things like that, they might seem like they're big deals, but they're not.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
You have to,
I actually got in this big fight with one of my friends because I got a cookie from Chick-fil-A, and I forgot to tell him, and I gave it to one of my other friends, and we had this big old argument over it.
See, like, that's something so small.
like, guys, don't stop worrying about the small things. Like, because, I mean, even in our community recently, like, there's people that things have happened, accidents have happened lately.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever do something that ends on bad terms with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't do it over little things.
Yeah. And
I don't hold grudges. That's what I say.
Yeah, don't hold
Yeah.
grudges.
so,
Forgive and forget.
yeah.
You got to. Leaders, that's a
Yeah.
big thing. Forgive and forget. If you're a leader, you can't hold a grudge.
Yeah.
Because it makes you look weak. It makes you look insecure. And also,
Mhm.
you can't lead with that mental capacity.
Yeah.
You have to be forgivable.
Yeah.
You have to be able to forgive.
All right, we got to end
That's
it.
our real
We're
talk
going
for
out of
today.
time. We're going over time.
So, that's what we got for today, guys.
Yes.
Make sure you guys follow us on all of our platforms at 412 Leadership.
Yes.
Like we said, big announcement. We're going live. Stay tuned for more announcements. If you have anything that you want to ask us about,
Yep.
DM us on Instagram. Shoot us an email. Our email's in our Instagram bio.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys so much. Do we have any special shout outs today? Do we have any? Let's check
Let's
the
check.
phones.
Not off the top of my head. No one's special. My mom. My mom watches. It's pretty
Shout
cool.
out to Miss Connie.
Yes, my dad doesn't though. He said he watched one of them.
Eric did listen to one episode. Any other special shout outs? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Gave Lane one last week. Guys, Lane is just sweet.
He texts us every single.
Text us
Sunday.
every
yeah.
week. Shout out to everybody though. You guys blow us away with all the love and support we get. Shout out Pastor Gary
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
for
yes,
letting us take
for
the
letting
pod
us-
live.
Yes.
That's our big shout out. So, like we
All right.
said, that's our big announcement. We love you guys. We
Yep.
just can't thank you enough for all the support. We really appreciate
Yes.
it, and we're excited for what's coming up.
All right.
Stay tuned. We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you.
Episode 6, another good one. See you guys later. Love y'all.
Love you.
Love you.